Good morning, everybody. RNG here with another Etheria restart video, and today I got two things I want to talk about with this game. Now, number one, despite all of the drama going on, and don't worry, we're gonna circle all the way back to that drama, but despite all that drama, I've had some of the most fun I've had playing this game over the last few days, and that's because Union versus Union finally got to the point that I wanted it to get to. We are facing off against another undefeated Union right now, and we're getting our butts kicked. That's fine. That's fine. I don't mind losing to somebody who's better than me, right? That's cool. And in fact, we planned out our defense really well. Like, we had a strategy for who we laid out, and it was really exciting to watch. Like, ooh, did this like defense work? Did this little trap work? Like, how good did our defense do? In fact, there's only one team left alive, and they might be out of attacks, and it's my last defense team, baby. I'm holding the line in the front at 4 wins and 2 losses, and that feels really good. It's really exciting, and I like seeing what I consider like strong competition go up against the teams that I make. That's so awesome. On offense, we haven't done as well as they did. They're going to win, but we had a plan of attack. We executed the plan of attack as best as we could. We got to their headquarters. We threw 10 attacks at it and went 0 for 10, and then we pivoted to try to clear other things. So, okay, it was fun. We shot called. We had strategy. Sweet. And I never mind losing to someone who's better than me or who out-strategized me or anything like that. Now let's switch back to the drama side. I want to talk about this team right here. Now, this team is beatable. In fact, I can think of a lot of team comps right off the top of my head that could beat this team. In fact, if I would have had maybe my best units, my units with the highest base speed with my speed gear on, I could have cleared this. But by the time I fought this, I'd already won 2 matches and lost 2 matches. I was down my 2 fastest units, and even putting my best speed gear on my currently remaining fastest useful unit, those 3 units were all faster than me. And I can promise you something. I promise you, and this is a guarantee, there is no one who spent more energy in this game than me, unless they are currently 0 out of 0 on stamina pots. I have max refreshed gems every day. I've bought gems to just keep max refreshing gems. So I have farmed as much as anybody, but my gear rolls have been pretty dang unlucky. Like, I do not have a single piece of gear that is speed 20, right? Like, just hit speed. I got some 12s, some 15s. I got like a 16 floating around, but I don't even have a lot of those. So there's just people who have more speed than me. And it sounds maybe a little bit here like I'm complaining, like, oh my God, you lost, like, get good. No. This guild that we just played 100% deserved to win. I just would prefer effort and money getting results, because I feel like that's the way it should be, right? This is a gacha game. First of all, effort is effort. And whenever you put effort in anything and time, you expect a return on that time, a return on that investment. The game has to make money. If you spend money, you should get some results back for that. And like, okay, fine. But then you mix in that RNG factor, and that's been the core complaint that everybody's had. There's a Reddit post from yesterday that says, to those telling people to stop complaining about the game, stop it. And I was literally going to make a video about this last night, but my video about the new event took 45 minutes to film because playing through the new event took 40 minutes because it's this long RNG fest that has people literally quitting the game. And so I want to differentiate between a couple of things right here. Number one, complaining, like the complaining I'm doing kind of right now, the complaining that several other content creators are doing. Again, I'm not counting the people who are just like quitting the game. They make a video being like, this game sucks, LOL, check off, I'm quitting. Forget them. They're gone. Their opinion doesn't like matter anymore. For those of us that are still here complaining, view it as like constructive criticism. We're trying to move this game in a positive direction, and this is my medium of giving feedback. I do not have a direct line to the devs like some of the bigger content creators do. And so like, this is the way that many of us have to express what we think. And I do know they watch our content. I do know they watch my content sometimes anyway. So there's a difference between complaining and whining. I am not whining about anything, and many people out there aren't whining about something. In fact, I was watching Zox's video today. Great content creator, been covering this game for 2 years. Listen to this point that he makes, and then I'm going to kind of build off of it.
Let's start off.
Boom. And that's it. Now, look, this video is 24 minutes long. It's a great video. I suggest everybody go watch it. And I'm not a reaction content creator, so I'm not going to just sit here and react to his video. However, what I'm going to say is that, like, I wonder if releasing Inferno at launch was a mistake, because that is the, like, it's so hard. Like, Inferno is so difficult too. Now, I've cleared everything on Inferno. Still can't auto farm Ringo on Inferno for like those shells. So anybody who can do that has a leg up on me. And guess which character is in like most of those teams, and their name rhymes with Dilly and starts with L. There's another place where RNG got me. I still just have never found Lily, despite all of the money that I've spent on the game. And most of the time, I wouldn't have a problem with that. Like, I like using off-meta characters. I feel like I was one of the people who brought Celeste into, like, the mainstream, being like, look what you can do with this character. She's actually really good, even though people all said she sucked. That's awesome. But, like, you know, I mean, okay, I digress. Let me just say that, like, I think many of us expected PvE to be something that we could use to farm, and then we use those farming resources to move into PvP to compete on as level of a playing field as a gacha game can have. And I know that that's a little bit of a like, yeah, that's, I get it. Like, it's a gacha game. If you spend money, you have an advantage. Sure, fine. But like, okay, so that leads me to this. Kyuraku13 made this post earlier today. He said, there you go, XD. I fixed the game for you. Perspective of a whale that just uninstalled last night. So another whale who's quitting the game. You got to keep these people. You got to keep the whales. If everybody wants to play, you got to keep them. He made excellent points in here, and I just want to go through them and just talk about these points, because I agree with almost all of them. Now, right off the top, he says nobody's buying the new skins that are just recolorations of characters. That's not just the one I disagree with. I actually see the skins all over the place in like PvE, and it's an easy thing to do, recoloring characters, and like the new bikini skin for the main character is actually pretty good. But then I do agree. He says, why not just make like a $10 pack with 300 crystals and Bikini Rosa? Do that. You will just make money. Like, he's literally telling them how to make money. Guys, there's one thing that is sold in gacha games forever and kept those games going. Like, what's the game with the girls with the guns where you're just like POV behind them the whole time and they have jiggly butt physics? It sells. It's why like AAA games in America right now are failing, because like they don't do this kind of stuff. Okay, there's a lot there. Okay, let's go through the rest of his points, so the rest of them get better. Number 2, a weekly $5 pack that has 500 crystals and 10 stamina tubes. Everyone buys that. He's exactly right about this. He said, I'm drinking that juice all week, every week, no hesitation, and so will so many people. Like, it's $5. Do you know how many people would be willing to just toss $5 for 10 stamina pots and 500 crystals? Awesome idea. It's half of a multi-pull and 10 stamina refreshes. Hell yeah, they would make a ton of money off of that. Great idea. Number 3, gacha games have existed long before Etheria restart, and events have been standardized as a fair, hey look, we're back to that fair thing, opportunity for all players to get equal rewards, guaranteed rewards. Now, why would you come and try to ruin that? You introduce RNG to prevent shop clearing. Why would anyone choose this over other gacha games? There's a lot of reasons people would choose Etheria Restart over other gacha games. Most of it is like because of the PvP environment and all that. Look, it's a better game and it offers things that other games don't do. But he's exactly right on his main points right here. Like, he's quitting, so I get this last sentence to like twist the dagger a little bit. But yes, like, there's an event meta that exists, and that meta is fair events with equal guaranteed rewards. Yep, bingo. Like, there is no reason. Look, and like, okay, I'll make a couple points. Point number 1, this is an example of a fair event with equal rewards for everybody. Look, at the end of this, everybody's going to clear wishlist 1, wishlist 2. They're going to get all the things and all these little balls. Awesome. It's super easy to do. Good event. I will even say that this event is a good event. It is a little bit RNG like the board game one, but you can get these like special dice to guarantee yourself, like make sure you turn right here. And then if there's the cannon guy that can shoot you, you just make sure to land on that. You want to make sure and collect all of these that you can. Like, there's a little bit of RNG here, but for the most part, like, it's just easy to do. It's fun. The rewards are pretty good. I don't think anybody has a problem with Shell Story. This one, Holy cow, man. I did my runs again today. And first of all, ain't nobody spending 300 freaking gems to refresh your keys. That's ridiculous. When you do those dark side runs, and I can't do another one right now. When you do those dark side runs and it's like, hey, 50-50 chance, double up or lose everything. My ass, that's 50-50. Like, okay, what, 13 or 14 times I've done it, I've doubled up once. Now, again, I don't have Lily, so my luck in this game is kind of bad, and I don't have any max speed gear, so my luck in this game is kind of bad, but eventually am I not supposed to get lucky? And you know what would even be better? If I didn't have to get lucky, if I just got enough freaking things to come in here and clean this out. That'd be cool. And then, why is this random? Like what is going on right here? There's 300 of each of these boxes and the rewards are completely random. Now I will say I'm at 32 perfect lattice fragments. When I have rolled on these, I'm getting 3 to 5 every time I do like 10 rolls. I really don't mind building up to a perfect lattice by the end of the week. That's cool. Like, I'm actually cool with the rewards that are available from here. Just make it like, hey, it's an easy little event to do. You clear some content, wherever, you get some points, you turn those points in, and you get your perfect lattice. That would be better. That'd be better. Or let me choose between some things, but the RNG-ness is just too much. It's RNG everywhere. Modules, shells, events. Like, what are we doing? There's even that like 10% chance that things just auto-resist everything. What the hell is that? So like, it's too much RNG everywhere. Just get rid of that. Just make events straightforward. God, that'd be better. They fixed Infinity Train. You can fix this too. Okay, next. Number 4, you want the mythic modules to cost 700 to 800k to fully level up to 15. Fine, agree with that. Like, it should be a lot of currency to fully level up something, but then he gets to the crux of it. But shift the majority of the cost to the higher levels from +9. I'd even say from like +12. Like, make it expensive to make like that premium, that super good module. But the reason it's important to make it cheap to get to +9 or +12 is to stat check. Like, if you are looking for speed, which goes back to like my original complaint that like some people just have all this speed gear because they got lucky, and I don't have all that speed gear because I don't get lucky. And many people in my guild are the same way, and they're max refresh players every day, and like, we just don't have this +20 speed gear. And if I stat check stuff to +9, it drains so much of my currency, and it doesn't all just come back to me when I recycle it. So I can't even try to get lucky enough times to justify it. So this is a really, really good idea. Make it super cheap to level something to +9. Then if it sucks, just recycle it and who cares? But right now it's too expensive to get something to +9, which is a reasonable stopping point to see if a gear is garbage or not. Okay, rename the current Threshold Inferno stages to Inferno 2 and introduce a new Inferno 1 transition stage that has the current Inferno's drops but is easier. Inferno 2 will be the real PvE endgame that has the current Inferno difficulty but does not drop to Matrix. Oh my god, this would be nice. So he's saying keep the difficulty where it is, but like rename it to Inferno 2, bump it up, and then put entry level Inferno. Or just like, you can't take Inferno out of the game now. There's no undoing it. But what exists right now is there needs to be a bridge between Nightmare Ford and what currently is Inferno. The difference is monstrous. It's huge. And it's a lot of times, I think one of the biggest complaints is it's a lot of times just huge in a like stupidly cheap way. Like Doki Doki, for example, goes from like a 50% damage decrease on that buff that the bosses have to 90. It's like, okay, they go from like taking half damage is a punishment. Like, hey, I want to remove that because I really want them to take more damage because then I can farm it faster so I can get more gear and currency to go play PvP. Instead, what they do is they're like, actually what we're going to do, we're going to make the mobs cycle faster and make it a 90% reduction. So if you don't remove it, you basically don't do damage to them unless you're cheesing with Revelation. And then if you use too many Revelation characters, they'll just kill you. And it's like, oh, come on, like, it's too much. And so like, if you want to have like god tier hard mode, fine, but let's give people access to Inferno that like, you know, they don't have a perfect Revelation shell. Okay. Now, here we go. There is enough RNG already with the module main stat, then substats. And this is most gacha games right here. In like Honkai Star Rail, for example, this is the RNG that you're dealing with. You farm gear and you're like, ooh, I got a good main stat and I got some good substats. I'm gonna level it up. Ooh, I have a really good piece of gear. That takes a ton of time. There's already a massive time investment just to do that. Then we drop 2 matrix modules. So not only do we have to chase main stat and substats, sometimes you just get a piece of gear that's completely unusable. Like at the end game part of this game, a 12 matrix set that a 2 matrix piece drops, you just trash it. It's garbage. You can't use it. And yeah, so that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Get those out of here, especially in Inferno stages. Why are those dropping? Like, what is going on there? That's just dumb. Okay, Inferno shell stages should have 90% mythic shell drop rate and 10% slumba, or at least a pity system of every 1-2 runs is guaranteed a red mythic shell. You know the screenshots I'm talking about. This one, look, I don't feel like the amount of mythic shells that are dropping is the problem. I feel like the amount of mythic shells that drop with the 2 matrix modules is the problem. Again, I only farmed, okay, I take it back. I farmed Aurora for 1 whole energy refresh. Then I did 9 energy refreshes on shells. I saved 1 of a whole day of farming. And then I threw all the rest of the energy into substats on a shell that's like not even done that I've been working on all week. So, they do like I've talked about shells ad nauseum, so whatever. Okay, speaking of shells RNG, if you have a 9 speed stat, and here's the big one, if you have a 9 speed stat and re-roll it, you should never get the same speed stat, or even worse, a lower like a 7 roll. There should be a pity of like after 10 rolls you have to pick a mythic stat for which will be a random, yeah, good, some kind of pity system for rolling there. It's too much. And like to highlight that point, let me show you guys what I've been working on this week. I'm building up Tiamat. Do you know what's fun? Yes, you know what's something that's fun to do? Build a new character. And so I've been saving my ascension materials, right? And I'm building up my lattices. And where's my girl? I'm trying to get Tiamat ready for PvP. I'm collecting lattices, and you can see right now I have how many? 2. So I'm trying to like max her skill 3, get her PvP ready. I need a shell. She's a very different type of character, so I'm trying to build her a shell to get her ready to go. Build her some modules. Now, that was fun. Building a character up is awesome. Do you know what's not awesome? Building a shell. So here's the shell that I've been building for her. Again, this has been my focus this week, has been this shell, and I literally like only farm this crap. This is what I got. I've got an amber. Now, to be fair, this has very good matrices on it. Or, yeah, matrices. Swift Rush, Bloodbath, Swift Smite. That's kind of what I wanted. This is the build that I'm kind of going for here. It's a little bit different than maybe the recommended build, but it's the one that I want to try with this shell. I have spent millions, days worth of farming trying to get passive effects that are decent. I have 7% increased damage on the 3rd one. I'm fine with that. I'm gonna keep that one there. Shadow Dash 14. Nope. I need higher than that if I'm going to compete with the kind of people that I was showing you at the beginning. If you're going to compete at that highest level, which I feel like is somebody who spent money and maximum farmed every day, I should at least have access to a playing field where I can compete with those people. So I need the gear and the shells that they more or less have. So then it can become strategy and not, hey, I rolled 20 and have some 20 modules too. So I just outspeed you, GG, LOL. And then like, I got HP 13%. It's a literal purple one. I kid you not. I've put 1 million. Here, let's put some more into it because this is literally all I'm using this for. So like, oh, look, there it is. Animus HP 13% again. I rewrote it because who cares? It's the same thing. I've done this so many times and I've shown in so many of my videos. Do you know how freaking cool it would be to get attack plus 30% on a shell that's like a DPS shell and not amber? That's like max roll. Throw it away. Because it's Tiamat shell. And like I'm literally only building this from her. That's stupid. It's so infuriating to waste days of farming on that RNG simulator right there. So that's just dumb. Okay. All right. I've done that too much. So all Inferno stages shell and modules should drop double the current amount of coins. That would be helpful. Ringo Kutsu Inferno. Oh my God. It's the one Inferno stage that I cannot auto. Again, I've max refreshed every day. I have a pretty good account. I cannot auto farm this. I can manual it, but I cannot auto it. He says lower the enemy's attack by 25% and their speed by 15. Yep, problem solved. Now, it's still hard, but it's farmable. And it's supposed to be farmable because the idea of this game is you farm gear and then go use it for PvP. They are literally pushing PvP World Championships right now. Yep, make the freaking shells and gear farmable, please. Okay, stop lying. This is the #1 deal breaker for me personally. I don't know who's lying, but stop. Don't lie. Lying's bad. #1 deal breaker. Oh yeah, the devs were lying. He said, this is the quote from the devs. One of the most generous events, if not the best rewarding one ever, is a bold claim for probably what's the most terrible event so far. I half agree with this and half disagree with this. What I think about this event, let me read what the recipe says. You do a dev talk where you announce new shells that replace yellow ones in Inferno and sell for 10 to 20 coins, 10 to 20k coins. Then surprise, it's just 8k. And reconfiguration chips are the same. Yeah, this 10 to 20k would be a lot better. 10 to 20k means I could just re-roll those passives more and lose. But still, yeah, this would be nice. He means, by the way, he means training data right there as well. Enough with the lies. And lastly, I beg you, please not use the dumbest argument of, but we want players to stay for the long run. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Yeah, they do want players to stay for the long run, but the way to do that is not scare them off early. That seems obvious to me, but like I'm not a gacha game developer, and if I was, I feel like my gacha game would not suck in certain ways. So yeah, open your eyes and look at other games. Then he talks about some games that I don't play, so I'm not going to really comment on that. Look, like with this event, like I get what the developers were saying about the current event. What they were saying was, and here it is, the rewards are potentially really good. I kind of went over this yesterday. You could come away with a perfect lattice from right here and a perfect lattice from right here. If you get super lucky, which good luck with that, and you're willing to spend a ridiculous amount of gems to get keys every day. And like, you already got to spend gems just to farm. I don't want to spend gems to like farm an event. That's wild. That's freaking insane. Like what a dumb idea that was. So look, I loved the last few days of playing this game for the strategy involved in Union versus Union. The bones of this system are so good, and I really do hope that my little defense here, my Veronica defense, holds the line, and that Aether doesn't clear us, and we're the first guild they don't clear because they saved my ass for last and couldn't beat my Veronica. I would be so proud of that. I just wish that when it came to our offense, and I was looking at this team right here, I can think of teams that can beat this. There's comps out there that can beat this, but those comps have to not get lapped by Freya Klaus Heinrich in order to win. And so I feel like with a little bit less RNG and a little bit more level playing field, Aether still kicks our ass, but we put up at least a reasonable show. And I don't walk away from my very last fight just being like, damn, like shit, like there's people that have this much speed and I've played the game every day as well. Feels bad. Feels bad. And I think that's what I already got the battle pass, friend. I think it's the biggest problem the devs are running into right now is a feels bad. I've talked about that a lot, and I'm just going to end it with that as well. Like, the bones of this game are so good. Just whoever's pulling the levers on the like RNG stuff, like stop kicking us in the feels bad nuts is what I'm trying to say. Now, that's not whining. That is constructive criticism for, again, a game that I want to do well and last for a long time. Okay, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you next time. Peace.